Hey fam, Master Coach G here, thriving after 50, mind, body, soul. And in today's episode, we're talking about something that sits right at the heart of our wellness, and that's our mindset. So I'm going to be honest, there's not a diet or workout or morning routine that you can stick with that is going to work if your mindset has not changed. So this episode is about growing in personal development so that you can have a shift in the way that you think and take care of yourself that actually feels natural and not a punishment. So if you've been trying to get consistent with your wellness, but you keep falling off track, this one is for you. In this episode, we're talking about mindset over maintenance, the wellness shift, and grow first, glow later. This is Master Coach G, and I will see you on the inside. Hey fam, Master Coach G here, thriving after 50, mind, body, soul. And in today's episode, we're talking about a subject that sits right at the heart of our wellness, and that is our mindset. So I'm going to be honest, there is not a diet, a workout, a morning routine that sticks if your thoughts about yourself and your wellness is not changed first. That has to be the very first step. That's why when I always start working with someone who wants to change their wellness, I always start with mindset. Mindset is the very first thing that we have to work on, because if we don't work on the mindset, nothing else after that is going to work. Nothing. And I don't care. You can be the best coach in the world. You can be the best therapist. You can be the best counselor, psychiatrist. If the mindset is not changed, then nothing else will stick. Nothing else will work. So in this episode, we're talking about growing in personal development. That will cause a shifting in the way you take care of your health and your wellness. And it actually will feel natural. It won't feel like a punishment, because some people feel like working out is a punishment. It's like, if I want to maintain good health, I have to eat right, and I gotta drink so many ounces of water, and I gotta get so many hours of sleep. Yes, that is a part of wellness. However, it shouldn't feel like a punishment. So that's the reason why the mindset is important, because it allow you to shift from thinking it as a punishment to knowing that it's for your good and that it is a part of your wellness. So if you've been trying to be consistent with your wellness, but you keep falling off track, then this episode is definitely for you, okay? So in this episode, I want to talk about mindset over maintenance, okay? Growing into wellness. See, I don't think that everybody understands, because I am a holistic practitioner, naturopathic holistic health practitioner. We have to understand that holistic health is a practice. Okay, it's just like your doctor is practicing medicine, because every time you go to see him, that's what he's doing. He's practicing and getting better, hopefully, every time that he sees new patients with the same condition. So yes, he is practicing medicine. So you have to practice a holistic lifestyle. So the mindset has to be there in order to grow in your holistic lifestyle. Okay, because that will help you to grow into wellness. Okay, the next thing I want to mention is the wellness shift and how personal growth redefines your health. Okay, so personal growth is important when it comes to your wellness, because it's a matter of how you think. It's a matter of the things that you say to yourself, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in this episode as well. So the personal growth gives you an opportunity to redefine your health, to sit down, do an evaluation, make the corrections and the changes that needs to be made in order for you to live a life of wellness. A life of wellness means that you're thriving, okay? And wellness is mind, body, soul. All three that is intact, all three that's whole, okay? The next thing I want to talk about, and this is one of my favorites, is grow first, glow later. Yep. Because building wellness starts from the inside out. The inside out. So we want to grow first, and then we can glow later, okay? So yeah, those are some of the things I want to talk about on today's episode. So let's look at it like this. What if your wellness wasn't about a routine or resolution? I know we're getting closer to the end of the year. It's time for people to start making their New Year's resolution. But what if wellness wasn't about that? What if wellness was more about how you think about your wellness? Okay, so we're going to talk about that because personal development transforms your mindset about your health, about your wellness, about your habits, about your self-worth. Okay, because here's the thing: when you say to yourself, I am worth becoming well, then your habits will change. Because now you're looking at your self-worth. My family is worth me being well so that we can live a life of, making memories and doing things together. Your family is worth that. So because your body changes, your belief have to change as well. Okay, it's just like I can't sit here and honestly think. I just had a birthday, September 22nd, and I have been blessed to see chapter 68. Now, what I do at 68, I cannot do what I did at 38. Okay, totally different things. So here's the thing: my mindset has to shift because I have to understand you cannot do what you did at 38. Some things I can, don't get me wrong. When I was 38, guess what? I could go to the gym twice a day. I would challenge myself once a year to go to the gym twice a day. Okay? Just for 31 days, and I did it for 31 days, twice a day. I can't do that now, boo. I just can't do that. And here's the thing, I'm not going to try. So my mindset had to change to say, okay, girl, now listen, you're 68 now. You can't do that anymore, okay? So what I want to do is I want to break down some things here in this episode. The connection between growth and wellness. That's where I want to start. Wellness isn't just physical, okay? Please understand that. It is a big part of the picture, but it is not just physical. It's emotional, it's mental, and it's even spiritual. And if you recall, last week I did an episode on our soul wellness, okay? Because our soul plays a big part of our wellness. It's the third trinity, if you will, to our wellness. Our soul consists of our mind, body, our mind, will, and our emotions, okay? So that's why it's important that our soul is intact and that our soul is healthy. Because it is a spiritual thing, it is an emotional thing, it is a mental, emotional, and spiritual thing. We have to be intelligent when it comes to those areas: the emotional intelligence, the mental intelligence, and the spiritual intelligence. We have to be on point with that because that is a direct effect to our wellness. Okay, so you just can't sustain healthy habits with a sabotaging mindset. Let me say that again so it can sit in. You cannot sustain healthy habits with a self-sabotaging mindset. It won't happen. That's an oxymoron, okay? So growth means shifting from a fixed myself to a supporting myself mindset, okay? So it's about changing how you see this thing. It's not about looking at it from the same angle. I know that we grow up with certain things and certain isms, if you will, and we believe that throughout our lives. I know that my mother said things to me, my grandparents said things to me that I still mention to this day, but here's the thing: we have to understand that just because someone told us that stuff doesn't necessarily mean that it fits our life anymore. So that's why we have to change our mindset. Again, I had to realize that what I did at 38, I cannot do at 68. There's a lot of things that I can't do at 68 that I did at 38. Okay, so yes, let's look at that, what it means to make that shift. Okay, let's talk about some old stories that we tell ourselves. It's like, oh, I'm not doing enough. That mindset keeps people stuck. Okay, we need to be able to identify the limiting beliefs around our body, our food, our rest, our worth, our water intake, how much sleep we get. We have to identify the limited beliefs when it comes to those things, because those things are affected by our limited beliefs. It's just like you can tell yourself, here's a limited belief. People will say, well, I'm good on 5 hours of sleep. Well, you may be able to function. It's just like you have a functioning alcoholic. You have a functioning drug addict. They can function. They can do their jobs. I mean, I know some functioning alcoholics. And when it's time for them to do their job, they are excellent at it. A sober person can't beat them. Okay, so you can still function on 5 hours, but your body and your organs hasn't had time to reset themselves. And that's important, and that's why we have to get a minimum of 7 hours of sleep, which I always talk about sleep and how important it is for our health. So no, that's a limited belief, believing that you're okay on 5 hours of sleep. So I'm going to give you an example. One of our organs, the liver performs over 500 functions a day. Okay? 500 functions while our body is in movement. Now, if you're up for 10, 12, 14 hours a day and you're only getting 5 hours of sleep, how do you think your liver is going to restore itself in 5 hours? It's not even possible. So that's the reason why we need more than 5 hours. And again, you may be able to function, and I'm not saying you can't function. You may be able to do things great, and that's cool. But your organs is telling you something different, and that's why it's important to listen to your body. Building a growth mindset around wellness replaces I have to with I get to celebrate my consistency. And you get to say, I get to be consistent over perfection. Okay, because some of us, it's like for me, I have in my mind, I have a mindset of what is the perfect body for me. Not anybody else, not what nobody else has, but according to my life, according to my body structure, I have in my mind the body, the way, the physique that I like, that I want to have, that I want to maintain. Okay, so I don't have to say, well, I have to go to the gym 5 days a week, even though I do. But I should say, I get to celebrate that I am consistent with going to the gym. Okay, over worrying about having the perfect body that I have structured in my mind. Okay, and here's another thing we get to say. We get to say about that we are going to fuel our bodies, okay? And that kind of makes us curious, if you will, with having some self-compassion, and we want to be able to not only fuel our bodies, but fuel our mind with wellness choices, the things that we decide to do, like getting 8 hours of sleep and eating healthier and doing things in moderation and walking or exercising at least 30 minutes a day. Those are wellness choices. We're making the choice to do those things, okay? And then we also have the real life shifts, okay? Which is, let me give you an example. Here's a story of someone who stopped dieting, stopped listening to their bodies. So here's the thing. What we have to do is we have to listen, okay? When I was diagnosed with diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high A1C, 237 pounds, I had acid reflux so bad I couldn't even lay down to sleep. I had to have a mindset change, a mindset shift, if you will, about my health. I couldn't rely on medication. I couldn't rely on the doctor. I could not rely on anything except for my mindset shift. And in order for me to do that, I had to do some personal development, some personal growth, okay? Which means that what I did was I started walking. I started walking and praying. I went to the one who created my body, who knows everything, every hair on my head, every little thing about me. He knows. So I went to the source and I said, God, you created my body. You know my body better than I know my body. And I know my body pretty well, but he knows my body better than I could ever know it, because he created it. He knew exactly where I was. He knew exactly what it was going to take for me to be able to get to where I am to this day and maintain that, not just get there, but maintain that. See, a lot of us, we get there, we lose the weight, but then we find it again. Okay, I wanted to lose the diabetes. I wanted to lose the high cholesterol, high A1C, the high blood pressure. I wanted to lose it and never find it. And it's been 13 years and I lost all of that. L-O-S-T, not L-O-S-S. I lost all those diseases and dysfunctions that was going on in my body. And it's been 13 years and I've been able to maintain that. I didn't want to just lose it. I wanted to be able to continue to live that lifestyle where I could maintain that without it feeling like it was such a big chore. That was a mindset shift. And actually that's how Mind, Body, Soul shift came about, was because I did make a shift. I made a shift in my mind, I made a shift in my body, and I made a shift in my soul, because my mind was definitely transformed. Okay, my body was just, oh my God, it was just amazing to watch my body go through the transformation. And my soul, I became closer to God. My relationship with God, my mindset shifted, because I was raised in a Baptist church and there were certain things that I was taught and things that I was not taught, and so I depended on that part of my relationship with God to be able to get an understanding, to use my spirit of discernment and hear what he had to say about my wellness. And I listened and I did it, and here I am 13 years later and I'm still maintaining that. You know why? Because I maintain the mindset of a growth mindset. And I'm constantly growing, continuing education, continuing personal development, okay? Growth is the foundation to our wellness. Growth is the foundation to our wellness. Let me say it like this. Growth is a foundation and wellness is a result of that. Okay? And it's true. Okay? Small shifts in your thinking can lead to lasting changes. It took me 1 year and 4 months to lose 117 pounds, walking it off. Okay? But the lasting change, people say, oh, but that's a whole 1 year and 4 months. Yes. But guess what? My habits were changing during that time. My mindset was changing during that time. My routine was changing through that time. I was having a mindset shift that shifted every single thing that came after that. And the personal growth that happened was a result of my wellness. And my wellness, I have been able to maintain wellness for 13 years. I'm talking about no medication, not even over the counter, no headaches, no nothing. And I'm so thankful, because I don't have to take over the counter, any type of medication, high blood pressure, diabetes, nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean zero. Absolutely nothing. And I'm so thankful for that. But that's because of my wellness. Okay, not because I'm in good health. It's because of my wellness. I am whole. Okay, see, health is the absence of disease. That's what health is. So you can have good health and not have any diseases, but wellness, that's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother level. Wellness is being well all the way around, in your mind, in your body, in your soul. There's nothing like it. That is complete and total wellness. So when we talk about wellness, most people think about food, exercise, sleep, your water, that's what most people think about. And I get it, because it is a part of wellness. But wellness is so much deeper than that. It's how you treat yourself. It's how you talk to yourself. It's how you respond to things when things don't go as planned. That's wellness. So we want to get involved with personal development and work on growing mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that what we actually create is the foundation for external habits that we're trying to build. There's things that we want to build, that we want to build it to last. Okay? It's like not building on worldly things, but we want to build on eternal things. And eternal things is our wellness. That's an eternal thing, is our wellness, because we want to be well. We want to be able to grow memories with our family. So when you grow, your mindset shifts from I have to be healthy to I deserve to feel good. I deserve to feel well. I deserve to be well. It's like Jesus didn't ask the man that on the side of the pool, do you want to be healthy? Go back and read the scripture. He says, do you want to be well? Do you want to be well? Mind, body, soul. Okay? You want to be well. Okay? So that mindset shift is going to help you to go from I want to be healthy to I deserve to feel good. Who wants to wake up every morning feeling bad? Who wants to wake up every morning before you even get out of bed, you got to reach for a bottle of medication and take it before you even get out of the bed every morning? I know people, well, I knew people like that. There's this one lady that's near and dear to my heart, Miss Nolia. And when I met her, boy, I'm going to tell you, she had a nightstand full of medication. And some of them she had to take before she even got out of the bed in the morning. And now Miss Nolia is thriving. And I'm just so thankful that she was able to follow the direction and the instructions that she received. And now she's seeing the results. She had a mindset shift. She said she deserved to feel good. She deserved to not be on the medication. She deserved to have good health and wellness, okay? That is a game changer, okay? So here's another thought. Don't tell yourself you're not disciplined enough. And yes, holistic lifestyle does require discipline. It does. I'm not even gonna lie, it does. So you don't look at it that you're not disciplined enough. You got to take baby steps. I always say you can't eat an elephant one bite at a time. You got to take one bite. I mean, you can't eat an elephant whole, only one bite at a time. So you have to do this in one bite. You know, whatever it is, master that one thing. If you haven't been consistent with walking 3 days a week, then master that first. If you haven't been consistent with eating the right foods, then master that first. You know, and you don't have to say, oh, I'm always falling off and healthy people have more willpower than I do. That's not true. That's not true. It's about what it is that you want. It's about your will. What is your will saying to you? Okay. Those are the kind of things that keep people stuck. Okay. Personal growth starts you to asking questions, not making statements, especially derogatory statements to yourself. Okay, ask yourself, okay, well, if you ate a bowl of ice cream and you know, you overindulged, then, you know, ask yourself, well, what did I learn from that? Okay, and ask yourself, is beating yourself up, is that something that you should really do to yourself? Or ask yourself, is it serving you anymore by thinking that way? Okay, you can't grow if you're still operating under an old belief system that keeps telling you that you're not good enough. You cannot grow if you're still operating under the old belief system that you're not good enough, okay? Mindset growth around wellness. Let's talk about what that looks like when it comes to your wellness. It's shifting from perfection to progress, okay? I had to tell myself, okay, well, my cortisol level can just kind of go through the roof, and you know, that's what they call the stress hormones, and when it does, then my body just kind of goes crazy. So I ended up, you know, getting in a place where I really didn't want to be, so I had to make a shift. So I kept thinking about perfection, and not the progress that I was making. Okay, so we have to go from considering perfection to the progress that we're making. That's one of the things that we have to look at when it comes to our wellness. Okay, we have to go from criticism to curiosity. Okay, we have to tell ourselves, I have to I get to celebrate my consistency. I get to celebrate my wins. I get to celebrate the good things. I get to celebrate walking 3 days a week. So when you think like that, the pressure starts to drop. Okay, you stop chasing perfection and you start building consistency, and that's where real change happens. Consistently, being consistent consistently. That's where your change happens. Don't worry about chasing perfection, because none of us will ever be perfect. No matter how much we try, you can go to the gym 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 5 hours a day, and you're still not going to be perfect. There's still going to be something that you're not going to be happy with. Trust me, I know I did this, okay? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to try this. The next time you miss a workout or you grab some fast food instead of cooking, don't spiral out of control. Ask yourself, what can you learn from this moment? Okay? Sometimes we grab fast food because it's convenient, okay? But what can we learn from it? Then we can say, okay, what I learned from this is that I need to meal prep, knowing that my daughter has soccer practice on Tuesday evenings. I can meal prep so that way we don't have to stop by and get fast food. Okay, that's what you can learn from that moment. Okay, sometimes a single question will help you to change your mindset. Okay, the single question keeps you in the growth mode instead of the guilty mode, and you don't want to be in guilty mode. Okay, and let's talk about real life examples. So let me give you a quick story. I once worked with someone who was obsessed with getting her wellness perfect. Okay. We're not going to have perfect wellness. And what I mean by that is some days we're not going to eat the things that we should eat. Some days we're not going to work out the way we should. That's what I mean when I say perfect wellness, okay? Continuing to count calories, tracking every workout, and how it was working for her. But she was exhausted and frustrated at the same time. So what happened was now stress creeps in. And that stress hormone, it can wreak havoc on your body. So when she started doing the inner work, for her it was journaling. She started challenging her self-talk. She started setting boundaries. Her entire relationship with her health changed because of the way she was talking to herself. And that self-talk is really important when it comes to our wellness. She stopped tracking and started listening to her body. She started resting when she needed to. She moved because it felt good, not because she felt. If she wanted to have a cheat day, she was okay with that, and she didn't have to feel guilty about it. So guess what happened? Her energy improved. You know why? Because that stress hormone that we deal with often wasn't bringing her down, and that stress hormone can make you feel weighted down. So her energy improved whenever she was lifted up out of those things that was holding her down. Okay, her body responded naturally because our body will respond to the cortisol, which is the stress hormone, but her body started responding naturally. And more importantly than anything else is that she felt at peace. She wasn't frustrated and she wasn't stressed out. Okay. That's what mindset growth does. It changes the way that changes the results. And when your why changes, it changes the why, and that changes your results. So her results changed because her why changed. Okay, so here's some closing thoughts, and I know I went over a little bit today. Usually they're 15 to 20 minutes, but I feel like this subject is important enough for us to dive deeper into our wellness. So here's your takeaway: you can't have a sustainable wellness without personal growth. You cannot have a sustainable wellness lifestyle without personal growth. It is going to require personal growth every single step of the way. Every single step. Okay? If your mindset is still rooted in the same, or you have the same habits, don't expect change. Because your mindset is what is going to change your why, and it's going to change your habits. I often say that your routines is not what develops the habits. It's what you think that develops your habits. It's your mindset that develops your habits. But when you grow and you start believing you deserve to feel good, everything else follows. Okay, so here's a little challenge I want you to try this week. Okay, think about one area of your wellness where you feel stress. Okay, guilty or never enough. I want you to think about one of those three areas, and I want you to flip the script on that. I want you to ask yourself, what would it look like if it came from a place of self-respect instead of a place of self-criticism. Okay, I want you to ask yourself that question. What would it look like if it came from a place of self-respect instead of self-criticism? Try it and watch how your choices start to shift. Okay? Hey, I appreciate you listening today to this episode. I think and I believe that it hit home for a lot of people in reference to our wellness. If it did with you, please share it with someone who needs a reminder. And don't forget to subscribe, because that way you won't miss anything that's coming after this. And you don't want to miss the next one. So I want to thank you for listening today. Get started on this wellness journey. Let's do it together. I'm here for you. You can my number is here. You can call me, you can text me, you can inbox me, you can, send me a pigeon, whatever. Just get in contact with me. Go to my website. I'm coachg.life. Send me a message and let me know that you need some help. And I'm here to help you. But before I get out of here, I want to say thank you to all my listeners around the world. Here in the United States, Canada, Australia, Russia Federation, China, Mexico, Belgium, Israel, South Africa, Brazil, Nigeria, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Bangladesh, Ukraine, Kuwait, India, Hong Kong, Dominican Republic, Philippines, Barbados, Saudi Arabia, Spain, Japan, Netherlands, Pakistan, Indonesia, Portugal, and Samoa. I want to thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me here on Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. This is Master Coach G, and I will see you on the next level.